He chuckles. Welcome to today's lesson on the last chapter of life. It's truly a pity. You okay? The two switched from talking about selling the house to diving deep into each other's feelings. About the house's value, he just remarked, and the next day at work, he was busy digging through data lines about the owner's phone. Remembering the owner as a lively fellow, snapping cool pics and cracking jokes on the golf course, a brilliant idea struck him. Sporting his finest black suit, he waltzed into the memorial like a quirky ghost, first sampling the snacks on the table. The pastries were more delicious than he imagined. He gulped one down and wrapped another in a napkin before heading to the owner's coffin. Noticing the owner's daughter quietly gazing at the deceased, he summoned up his courage to initiate a conversation, all the while leisurely enjoying the delicious pastries, and with great care he took a seat beside her. Listening to the daughter reminisce about her life with the owner, he felt as if he was part of the story, touched by their memories. Reflecting on how helpless he felt when the owner had his accident, he signed up for a first aid class, and there was no shortage of yet none were as dedicated. After class, others left while he sought the teacher. He wanted to borrow a dummy for home practice, but the teacher joked, textbooks everywhere. Wanna borrow? Buy one. And so he sprang into action, stuffing Dharma's heads on the bed scary at first glance while diligently practicing CPR under the sheets. Of course, he kept this a well-guarded secret. His wife was none the wiser, and many days passed. The island seemed calm, but on the way home after karate class, he spotted an ambulance rushing with sirens blaring, signaling trouble again. He told his son to sit tight, stomped on the gas, and chased after the ambulance, only to find another accident at home. A car was blazing on the lawn, with firefighters rushing to the scene with hoses to put out the flames while their teammates rescued folks from another wrecked car. He stood rooted to the spot, watching as if in a trance, until this very moment it dawned on him, oh no, his son was still in the car. He dashed across the barrier to his car, only to find the back door flung open, and his son mysteriously vanished. In a hurry, he loudly called out his son's name, Max. "Where are you?" Suddenly a voice echoed, "Here's Max." Together with his wife, they found their son at the accident site, and she quietly took him home. After a wave of anxiety, his wife suggested seeing a therapist, who asked about that day. He skillfully shifted blame onto their son. "I told him to pull over and wait for me to check. I could offer assistance, but he was engrossed in the parade, witnessing things that he shouldn't have been." The daughter learned the vehicle's driver perished in the blaze, and his analysis of the cause was quite outlandish. Rachel and Max's mishap occurred the day before, right on the freeway. If she hadn't died, we'd be heading home. Someone should have saved her. It's a regret our freeway carries. No dead bodies? What do you mean? Did you mention anything about your son's needs? Max doesn't need to kick, and that guy shouldn't have died. Josh, do you think this guy can die anyway? Either way you go home, he should still be alive. Whether or not the service providers know, he needn't fret recently. He's been so wrapped up in accident matters. His job performance has taken a nosedive. His boss summoned him to the office, announcing his termination, making the drive home a challenge of Olympic purport. He resolved to keep the news under wraps and returned home, putting on a show of cheerfulness while playing with his son until it was time to take. His twisted desires kicked in. He set the trash can by the cup, but felt it wasn't enough, so he slyly moved it forward. This is a setup. Rain can obscure visibility. Surely someone will hit this. He anxiously waited on his bed. Each time a car passed, he perked up, but alas, no accidents occurred. Now he switched on his computer to watch accident videos online, with the screen holding his gaze like a car crash you can't look away from. Especially scenes of cars engulfed in flames while someone heroically rescues the occupants, igniting a thrill within him. He whipped up a delicious breakfast, dipping his bread in eggs while blankly gazing outside to clear his mind. A car stopped outside. It was a couple house hunting. He rushed out to greet them, but their expressions worsened. At 3 p.m., It was time for his son's therapy session, and the doctor noted he no longer worked there, while the couple's argument bore no relevance to his job. After extensive observation, the therapist said their son likely had no PTSD lingering effects. It'll focus on behaviors such as avoidance symptoms when driving and other expressions of distress. The doctor's words rang familiar, as if those symptoms matched the scenes he'd witnessed earlier that morning. Yet, his wife was consumed with anger, having no time to reflect on the doctor's guidance, messing up at work and discussing the accident with it. Who dares buy a house after this? On arriving home, his wife packed her bags to separate. He was helpless, watching her pack with frustration while striving to explain his underlying motives, and consequently, the secret of the dramas came to light. His wife, bewildered, exclaimed, "What did I do wrong?" She finally burst. "No way, of course not. But it happened, and it takes just 10 minutes for doctors to get here." Upon hearing this, his wife lost interest in talking. It just made her feel sick, and she walked away without a word. A few days later, she sent over the divorce papers, mentioning the house on Gig Bay. To claim custody, they'd have to sell the house.